Alright, you guys, it's LMG here, and I thought, after all my years of playing Dead by Daylight, I should make another video in the sort of Ray&T theme, similar to my magic videos that I've been making, just to see how it goes. And I seen this video by Serif Sundown about the best killer perk for every killer, right? And I thought, he goes over the statistical analysis of each perk and like which killer has the highest kill rate with the perk. But that missed some really big nuances with perks between either like uncommon used perks or perks that should be used on more killers, and it just had some weird anomalies. So I thought I'd go through and go over every single perk and what killers it works best on and how to use it best. I am making this before the ghoul has come out. He's on the PTB right now, and as such, he's not on the list, and neither are his perks. Sorry, dude. Now, without further ado, this took like 8 hours to put together. I bit off way more than I could chew. I don't like to ask this early, but I would seriously appreciate a like, a share, a subscribe after this. This ate up an entire day of my life. So, for starters, we have Nurse's Calling. The ability to see survivors that are healing within 28 meters of you. This is really good on Wraith, Onryo, and Pig. Now I say this because they are stealth killers, and they can take advantage of not having their terror radius to sneak up on people who are healing and take advantage of it really easily. Or Nurse's Calling can always just sort of be good on anybody, but the smaller your terror radius, or lack thereof, the better. Next, we got Agitation. When you carry a survivor, your movement speed goes higher, and it makes your terror radius bigger. No one uses it for the terror radius bigger, maybe if you combine it with Starstruck, but, this is really good on Nurse, who wastes a lot of her chase time carrying survivors. That's just how good Nurse is. Her downtime is carrying people to hooks. Trapper, to get people to the basement, and, just kind of anyone else who needs to carry survivors where they want them to. Uh-oh. God damn it. Okay, next on the list, we've got Alien Instinct. And this one's a really strange one, but I think it works best on the Dredge, Freddy, and Demo Puppy. These guys have the ability to hook someone, leave and go do something, and then teleport where they need to go. So they can capitalize the most on this. Obviously, just to get easier downs. Right? You can start snowballing with this. See the furthest away injured survivor, and they don't hear you coming. It's just good for pressure. Now, we've got All Shaking Thunder. This is just killer balanced landing, but I think it goes best on the Plague, the Legion, and Skull Merchant. Just the killers who need help getting a general M1 down. Right? Plague and Legion can get survivors injured really quickly, but often struggle to get their single M1 hit afterwards to down the survivor. So this just gives general help with that. And Skull Merchant needs all the help she can get. God, she sucks some serious dick right now. I don't know who designed this chick. No. Okay. We got Awakened Awareness. When you carry somebody, you see their other survivors' auras within 20 meters of you. Honestly, this isn't great, but I can see it most use case on Hag and Trapper, just because you can use it to sort of allow you to stop interference, right? When you pick someone up, normally one person runs into your little nest of traps, and you can pick that survivor up and see if anyone else is going to be there to fuck with your traps while you're hooking them. So you can potentially drop them, chase them away, go back to the hook, whatever. It's kinda bad, I'm not gonna lie. Bamboozle. vault windows faster and block the window. This is Hillbilly, Leatherface, and Myers' best friend. Myers just vaults things fast in general base kit, and the Chainsaw Boys hate windows with a burning passion. So, chances are if you see a chainsaw killer, they're gonna have bamboozle. Next up, barbecue and chili. God, I miss my fucking additional blood points with this perk. But it's really good in general, but also on Blight, Pinhead, and Billy, just because this gives you some cross-map info. Blight and Hillbilly can sort of dash that way and close the distance on the aura reading to make it viable. And Pinhead can... You'll notice all of the perks I say work good on Pinhead help him play mental chess. You hook someone, you turn around and you see a single survivor running away from their generator in a random direction. Chances are the box is right over there. Overall, pretty good. Now, next off, we've got batteries included. When you're within 12 meters of a completed gen, you get 5% faster. 5 seconds even out of that, right? Now, this perk is really weird, but I think it works best on like the Trapper, the Huntress, and Pyramid Head. The killers who don't really have any sort of movement speed trickery, right? They don't have teleports, they don't have speed ups, they don't have, you know, a dash. They're just walking around the whole game. This can give you a nice speed boost while you're traversing the map, especially in dead zones. And also because Trapper tends to set up a nest, you lose a gen or two in the process. Just helps in the mid game, right? Now next we have Beast of Prey. And Beast of Prey sucks dick. I don't know why this is still a perk. It really needs a rework. There's a lot of perks on this list that are mid rework right now, and they'll be purple. Why is this not one of them? I don't understand. This perk is just bad. Bloodlust, undetectable. Moving on. We got Bitter Murmur. When gen gets completed, you see the auras of any survivors within 16 meters of the generator for 5 seconds. And then you just see everybody once the last one's done. This is especially good on Pinhead, Singularity, and Huntress. Pinhead, as I mentioned, he plays that mental chess. You know, they do a gen, one goes a different direction than the other two. They're designated box guy, you head that way. Huntress, you'll come to find as we go through this list, Huntress just fucking loves aura reading. She snipes people across the map with aura. You get on cold wind, you think you're safe, there's like miles of corn in between you, and suddenly there's a hatchet in your butthole. And Singularity, 9 times out of 10, Singularity has his camera set up by generators. So if you see this aura pop, you can switch to the next generator that you know they're going to run to. Pop on your camera, shoot them with the ball, teleport there. It's instant chase pressure, right? Now we got Blood Echo. And this one's a weird one. So whenever you hook someone, the injured survivors on the team get exhausted and hemorrhage. And I guess this is good for like Legion, Plague, and Twins. Stay injured, get punished. Shut up, loser. This perk has never been great, but like, I guess it was fine back when Dead Hard was a problem for these guys, but nowadays this perk just isn't great. We've got Blood Warden. And Blood Warden is best on killers like the Trapper, the Clown, and the Skull Merchant. You know, the M1 goobers that are gonna end up getting through all 5 generators, and they're gonna need help in the endgame collapse. These guys do work really good with endgame builds, though. Like, you can spend the whole match kicking pallets, doing whatever with these guys, and then once the gens are all done, now they have nothing to work with. The exit gates are blocked for 60 seconds because you got a hook. Everyone's fucked. It can be a real good comeback perk. But don't count on it. Bloodhound. I sat long and hard trying to figure out a use for this. I thought, oh, you know, Victor sees blood only. No, he has Bloodhound base kit. Okay, well, what about Dracula's dog? He can only see blood, but he has Bloodhound base kit. this shit right here, this needs a fucking rework. This perk sucks right now. It just don't run it. Next we have Brutal Strength, and I think Brutal Strength works the best on Wraith, Clown, and Deathslinger. The killers who are kind of forced to kick through pallets, right? Everyone and their mother drops pallets early against Clown. Clown's gotta kick them. Whatever. Wraith already has increased kicking speed in his cloaked form with his add-ons. This just makes him ludicrously fast at kicking everything. I've played it on Gideon Meatpacking Plant where I've had a Wraith jump scare me by kicking a door down and smacking my ass in the span of like 2 seconds. And Slinger, more often than not, Slinger is weakest around pallets because he can snipe you through a window and pull you to him. So the quicker you can kick pallets out of the way with Slinger, the better, right? 70, we have Call of Brine, and good God, they made this perk so bad. I guess I can see use for it on Blight, Nemesis, and the Lich. The Lich and Blight, because they can see the loud noise notification and get back quick enough to sort of interrupt them. You know, the Lich can fly. Blight does bouncy things. A weird thing with Nemesis, anytime you see a perk given loud noise notification, it's generally pretty good on Nemi because his zombies are attracted to loud noise notifications. So this is just all around pretty good. On him. Even though it's pretty bad. Man, they really hogtied this perk into the dirt. Moving on. 75, we have Corrupt Intervention. My baby. The one last bastion of perks that barely has gotten nerfed. And Corrupt is best on the Trapper, the Hag, and the Singularity. These are the killers that need prep time. They're Batman. You know, you start the match as Hag, as Trapper, as Singularity. You're setting down your traps, you're shooting your cameras, you're setting up your little web nest of, once the survivors have to come here, they're fucked. And Corrupt gives you this nice little early downtime of survivors having to find an unlock generator that lets you sneak in a few extra traps in the beginning. The whole deactivates on a dying state doesn't matter. If Trapper's in a chase in the first 120 seconds of the match, that Trapper is probably gonna fucking lose the game. Moving on, we got Chlorophobia. And so in your terror radius, healing speed gets reduced and their healing skill checks get faster. You're gonna notice anytime the word skill check gets brought up, the Doctor, Wesker, and to a lesser extent with this one, Oni. Oni is more just because bleeding survivors disincentivize healing. But anytime you see skill checks, the Doctor and the Wesker are going to want to know your location. Because these two have big dick massive terror radiuses, and they like all of the perks that say, hey, skill check bad. Don't do that. Right? Yeah, let's open my next page of my notebook here. Moving on, we got Coup de Grace. And again, I think this is the best on like Legion and Plague for the same reasons I said earlier with the Killer Balance Landing, but also Wraith and Myers. Obviously, Legion Plague, it just helps them get extra downs with their M1s, you know, gives them a little bit of lunge. But Wraith and Myers, Wraith coming out of Cloak and Myers in Tier 3 already have some pretty ludicrous lunge range. By adding this, you can get some fucking insane hits on survivors that won't see it coming. Coup de Grace, especially now it got buffed, which is really weird to say. But Coup does really good, especially on these guys. Anyone who M1s, though, can do really well with Coup. Moving on, we have Pro Limits. When a gen gets done, the vault locations on the map get blocked, and the auras of those locations are shown to you. Just run Bamboozle. This is unpredictable Bamboozle. This is, I guess, if you're gonna run it, put it on the Chainsaw Boys, I guess. Just run Bamboozle. This is Bamboozle is this perk on demand. We've got Dark Arrogance. Your vaulting speed is higher, but your stuns last longer. I think this works the best on Chucky, the Chainsaw Boys, right? It's super hard to stun or flashlight Chucky just because he's so small, so there's not really any downsides. But the Chainsaw Boys, 9 times out of 10, if you try to pallet stun the Hillbilly or the Leatherface, they're just revved up waiting for you to drop it, and they're gonna back up and saw the pallet and vault through a window and smack your ass. Yeah, you can flashlight them, I guess, but Lightborn's a thing, so oh no. And Hillbilly, one of Hillbilly's perks is Lightborn, so half the time people don't try to blind Hillbilly in the first place. After that, we have Dark Devotion. Whenever you smack the Obsession by any means and they lose a health state, your terrorist gets slapped on their ass at the size of 32 meters, and you get undetectable. This is phenomenal on someone like Blight, the Doctor, or the Xenomorph. You injure that survivor, they start hearing your terror radius like you're up their ass, so they're gonna cheese it, and you can just leave them. They might scare other survivors off of generators or something like that, thinking like, oh god, the killer's here, and you get a sneaky grab out of nowhere on a killer that doesn't deserve it. Honestly, just pretty good. And for all intents and purposes for the terror radius thing, for Doctor's skill checks and shit, it counts. It's just really good. Just don't try to static blast with Doc while you're using this perk. After that, we have Darkness Revealed. And this is really great on Huntress and the Trickster because they have to reload in lockers, and this just gives you or a reading on your reloads. But also it's pretty good on Dredge because it's players near lockers. So your ability to teleport to lockers is then buffed by his own perk, so you know where to teleport to. It's nice when a killer brings a perk that is good on themselves. I really like that in the design. Moving on. After that, we have Dead Man's Switch. This is really good on the Dredge, the Doctor, and the Artist. Anyone who can just sort of interrupt people really easy on generators. Doctor makes you scream, Artist shoots crows at you, Dredge jumps out of a locker right next to you. Or even other killers too that just have good mobility, like Blight and Hillbilly. As long as you can just shoo a survivor off of a generator, Dead Man's Switch is just pretty good. But these guys especially, because it's pretty low effort to knock people off of their generator with them. After that, we have Deadlock. And Deadlock is slowdown for good killers. So think the Blight, the Nurse, and Dracula, right? Killers that these guys almost never bother with kicking gens, and they're almost constantly in chase. Deadlock is just a passive slowdown with no requirements that'll just buy you some extra time. And especially in Nurse matches, seconds matter with how quickly she can down everybody. I promise you, you run Deadlock on Nurse and everyone's gonna hate your guts. After that, we have Deathbound. Here's one of our first perks that's getting reworked as I'm speaking of this, so I have to talk about it as if I know how it's going to play out. Works similar to the old one. Whenever someone gets healed for a health state, regardless if that's from injured to healed or from down to injured, the healer screams, and if they get away from the person that they healed for further than 4 meters, they get oblivious until they're hit again. That shit is insanity. So, not only do you get information about a heal taking place, which obviously if you slug someone and they get picked up, yeah, you kind of know that happened, and you know where. But if someone's just injured and they're getting healed, now you have information and they're oblivious. Deathbound is especially good on killers like the Xenomorph, Leatherface, and the Singularity. Xenomorph, just good in general to find them, especially when you're in the tunnels. Leatherface likes it when survivors are grouped up, you know, hit multiple people with the chainsaw. Especially, you can't hear the terror radius of Leatherface, it's bad time. And Singularity's goo will transfer between survivors when they're close enough. So if they're healing, you're going to be transferring it, and then you're going to fuck them up anyways. After that, we have Deerstalker. Yay, slugging! Obviously, it's great for twins, Myers, and the Plague. Twins, just because all they do is slug, and Myers and Plague have time-sensitive abilities that it's honestly better to, if there's more than one survivor around, hit down a survivor and continue to go after the next one. This just helps you go back and find them later. It's the perk for slugging. You're slug. Anyway, we have Discordance. 2 or more survivors on a generator. You see it in yellow aura. Makes a loud noise notification. This is really, really good on Nemesis, Leatherface, and the Legion. Great, again, to see a killer with their own perk. Zombies like loud noises. They'll head towards the generator. And then Legion and Leatherface both really like it when survivors are grouped up. So, knowing that they are is just great. We have Disillusion. After 3 seconds of hitting somebody, it activates for 20. If anyone slides across a pallet, it breaks in your terror radius. This is really good on Legion, Wesker, and Chucky, because they can all... Someone will drop a pallet, you'll go over the pallet, but slowly enough that they'll loop back around to the other side after you've gotten the hit, slide back around the pallet again, and break it, and you get your second hit to down. Overall, just a really cool tech on killers who can also slide pallets. Other than that, it's just kind of on other killers. You know, whatever. We have Distressing. Terror radius gets 30% bigger. Wesker, Wraith, and the Doctor especially really like this perk. Wesker's got a big terror radius. Why not make it bigger? Doctor, everything the Doctor does is in his terror radius. Doctor loves terror radius. Doctor loves skill check. And Wraith is an interesting one for this one. But this works for any killer who can, on command, make their terror radius go away. If you have the map-wide bell, or the bell that you can't tell where you're coming from, and then suddenly there's heartbeat, it makes people think you're on top of them when you're not. It's really, really cool to run Distressing on Wraith, in my opinion. After that, we have Dominance. And really, the Dominance is just a Hex support perk. You can just run this on anybody who is running a Hex. It just helps you not lose your Hexes. I can't really give a specific killer. A lot of killers like Hex builds. Do what you will with that information. We have Dragon's Grip. Once you bonk a gen for 30 seconds afterwards, if a gen touches it, they scream and get exposed for a minute. And then it has a cooldown of 40 seconds. Hag, Wraith, and Freddy are really good with this perk. Hag can set a trap, and then Freddy can teleport. Wraith can just run back. But if you run to a generator, notice it's worked on, but you can't find the survivor, you can prepare for it, set a trap, whatever, kick the gen and leave. That survivor's gonna be like, oh cool, they missed me, they're leaving. Touch it, you come back, insta-down them. Really cool tech. And I feel like Dragon's Grip is woefully underappreciated for how cool it is. After that we have Dying Light, and this perk has been consistently questionable in its entire lifespan because it helps the survivor so much. But it's pretty good slowdown for like the Plague, Hillbilly, or Ghostface, because Plague doesn't give a shit if you're trying to heal, you can't. And then Billy and Ghostface, as well as Myers to a lesser extent, all insta-down, so they don't care if your healing speed is faster, they're just gonna insta-down you anyways. Cool slowdown for people who don't need to whack through 2 health states. Enduring. Houndmaster, Pig, and Demo, they get hit a lot. And I mean a lot. Houndmaster's dog will try to drag you back to her, and if they happen to drag you through a pallet, someone's getting whacked. Pig does her 50-50 dash, you're going to get bonked with the pallet. Demo just eats pallets all day long. It's his dietary restriction. No, Spirit Fury, wait your turn. I gotta talk about you later. Go away. Shoot. Now we have Eruption, and, wow. That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. Just use Surge. After that, we have Fire Up. In general, it's pretty good. Just, as generators get completed, you get a little faster just about everything. This is just in general good on, like, Ghostface, Demo, and I guess Unknown. I do not like the Unknown. I expected to get John Carpenter's The Thing, and instead we got weird grenade launcher man. Just get on my tier list. Get. I don't like you. You're not showing up anymore. Get. After that, we have Forced Hesitation. Whenever a survivor is put into a dying state by any means, other survivors nearby get slowed down. And has a cooldown of 30 seconds. This is hilariously good on Leatherface, as well as Myers and Oni. By getting it down, it slows everyone else nearby. I don't know if you've ever tried to run away from a Leatherface who's running his chainsaw after he gets it down. It's a pain in the ass. Now imagine that, but also 20% slower. Same thing with Myers and Oni. They're insta-downers. They're gonna just try to snowball you as you go. Forced Penance. Take a prot hit, get broke, idiot, for 80 seconds, too. 80 seconds, no cooldowns, no nothing. This perk is underrated and it's brutal. Having the ability to break someone for over a minute just because they tried to come take a hit for their friend, just great. But I think it's especially good on, like, Legion, Slinger, and Spirit. Legion, you can obviously tell. Injured survivors, pretty good. But Slinger and Spirit especially, I don't know what it is about these two, but I feel like more than any other killer, people try to come take protection hits from you all the time. And I think it's generally because these two killers are the weakest while they're carrying a survivor, because their powers are so reliant on everything else. So this is just a really good way to, you know, like, take a protection hit, now they're broken, use your power to capitalize on that and get a quick second down. I don't know. It's just something I've noticed, and something that if someone happens to take one for you, these two killers in particular are really good at capitalizing on them being broken, because they'll catch right back up and kill your ass. Franklin's Demise. This is really good on the Lich, Pinhead, and I guess Knight to a lesser extent. Lich and Pinhead, obviously, you hit someone carrying your killer-specific item, they drop it, you get the box, you get your eyeball, whatever. Knight also just, you can make them drop their item and throw a guard to, like, sit there and, what's the word where they walk back and forth like that? Patrol, thank you. Patrol the item. You can just be a dick with the Knight. Now we're gonna get here. We're gonna get there. These perk couples gotta wait. I swear to God. Every time I talk about one, it's like, oh yeah, run it with this perk. Go wait your turn. Your friends till the end. When you hook someone who's not the obsession, you see the obsession, they get exposed. And then when you hook the obsession, someone else becomes the obsession. And they scream. You can just sort of do this weird snowball back and forth. I don't know. It works when it works. It's especially good on killers like Wraith, Dredge, and Freddy. It's sort of like make your choice at home, but also helps you pass around the obsession, which surprisingly not a lot of perks really care about anymore. It's pretty good with save the best for last, now that it's dead, but we'll get there. Furtive Chase. When you hook the obsession, you get 18 seconds of undetectable and haste. This is pretty good for like Blight, Demo, and Leatherface. Not that this perk is good, but just like the extra speed and the undetectable works good with these guys, and you can kind of pick and choose your battles of who you're gonna down with them. Not a good perk. It's just not a good perk. We have Gamefoot. Why is this perk so fucking bad? So let me get this straight. When you hit the survivor that you've chased for the longest with a basic attack, they become the obsession. And then, while you're chasing the obsession, you get 5% haste. But only after kicking a gen or breaking a pallet. So let me get this straight. Not only do you have to chase someone for the longest time that you've chased someone so far, and hit them to make them the obsession, but then, while you're chasing your obsession, you have to stop chasing your obsession to kick something and get a small speed boost. If you really wanted a speed boost for kicking through a pallet or something, just run freaking Brutal Strength. This perk sucks dick. Everything about the Skull Merchant sucks, I swear. Next up, on a light note, we have Gearhead. And Gearhead is an LMG-approved perk, okay? I have a huge love for Gearhead. So, you make a survivor injured, just any means, you get it popped on for 30 seconds. And if a survivor hits a good skill check instead of a great one, you see their aura for 8 seconds. Now, one thing you'll know about all of the important game actions in Dead by Daylight, with the exception of the doors in the endgame, you get skill checks. You smack someone, or you down someone, and you throw them up on the hook. You turn around, you got like 22 seconds left of Gearhead going. Anyone who hits a skill check, you see them, boom, you're on your next target. It's like barbecue and chili without the range limit, and also it only applies to people who are actually doing things that are productive. So you're not just going to go chasing the Nia crouch walking around the corner of the map. You're going after David, who's toolboxing a generator like an idiot. This is especially good on killers like Dredge, Billy, and Freddy, who can really capitalize on the info. It's surprisingly a really, really good perk. Just give Gearhead a try, honestly. I think Gearhead has become a phenomenal perk, especially in the vacuum of lack of good perks lately. Genetic Limits. No. So bad. Why? Come on. Dead Heart sucks now, so like, see, if you're chasing someone and you want them exposed, their Sprint Burst is going to go off before you hit them. They're 9 times out of 10 going to pop Nicolas Cage's Sprint Burst before you hit them. You got a 50-50 if they lie the window before or after. Dead Heart only works when you're injured. Balanced Landing, 50-50. Right? This just sucks. There's so many better perks for giving exhaustion if you really need to. Just no. And we have Grim Embrace. Honestly, generically good fucking perk. Run this on literally anybody not named Pyramid Head because he doesn't hook people. But aside from him, just general slowdown. 40 seconds of block generators after you barbecue hook 4 people is just really good. And also the random 10-second intervals of blocking generators, it's just really nice. It buys you, what, 70 seconds of the survivors not doing anything, just for not tunneling. seems like a pretty good trade. In my opinion, anyways. It's on to the Bone Lightning round! We have a metric assload of Hex perks. They all work the same with different effects. Hex perk gets spawned for one reason or another, start of the game, perk activates, do whatever. Hex totem spawns. You get the effects until someone breaks that Hex totem. Ready, go! Blood Favor. When you hit somebody, it blocks upright pallets so they can't drop them on you. Honestly, really good on, like, Legion, Spirit, and Houndmaster. No more pallet stuns. Go fuck yourself, right? Crowd Control. It's just, Bamboozle. The Saw Boys go crazy. Devour Soap. This is really good on anyone who can hit someone, down someone, and leave the hook without looking really suspicious that you're booking it at Mach 2 away from them to get Devour Hope stacks. Face the Darkness. No, this is so close to being a really good perk. It's so close. Come on. Although now that I'm reading this and looking into it, this might be okay on Pig to interrupt people from doing their bear trap boxes. Maybe. I need to put that into testing. Haunted Grounds. It's a trap. Just run it with other hexes. It doesn't really do anything on its own, but, like, it punishes people for getting unlucky trying to find your totems. Huntress's Lullaby. Did someone say skill checks? It's nudies. We all know what fucking nudies does, right? Every baby and their baby runs nudies, and it's just baby perk. Baby perk go baby. You have Pentimento, and you want this on killers that can just get around with pretty good speed, like Blight, Hillbilly, and Legion. This punishes survivors for doing your totems, because once they hit one of your totems, you can go rekindle that totem. You see its aura. For the first one, the repair speed's 30% slower. Second, if you manage to get 2 of these going at the same time, healing speed. Third one, recovering off the ground, doesn't matter. Fourth one, survivor gate opening speed could matter. You get all 5, those effects are permanent for the rest of the game. The survivor's done fucked up. It's really, really hard to lose with 5 stacks of Pentimento. Plaything. Oh, hey, it's Pentimento's cute couple. Hey, you get hooked and suddenly you can't hear terror radiuses and you gotta go clean it, and afterwards you can see it to make it kind of fair as long as you're close, and only that survivor can clean it. And man, I haven't heard the killer for a hot minute. What's going on here? Oh, shit! Aw, god fucking damn it! After that we have Hex Retribution. Oh, hey, look, it's aura reading. Give that to the Huntress and Pyramid Head. They like battling with auras. Pyramid Head will snipe you through the walls. Huntress will snipe you through, not the walls. We have Hex Ruin. It got ruined, but it's just get the fuck out of here, Surveillance. It's not your turn. Just really good on people who can interrupt people on generators. Dredge. Doctor, Hillbilly, anyone who can give pressure, make people leave their gem. Ruin's gonna put in some work for you. I still miss old Ruin, but I understand why it's gone. Hex Third Seal. Twins, Trapper, and Meyer. Twins are sluggers, and every time you hit somebody, now you can't see the other people who are slugged. Good luck. Trapper, for some ungodly reason, Maps can still see his traps, so this can kind of help him combat that, I guess, and also make it so you can't aura read him while he's setting his traps. Myers, because, slugging, I guess. That's the best I got for this perk, really. This perk's not good. Thrilling Tremors. Oh, look, neat. More, Hex support. Cool. Slow down stacks of cleansing totems. Cool. Hex 2 can play. You throw your flashbang and oh shit, now suddenly you're flashed and now you're in the fucking basement. God fucking damn it. Hex Undying. Oh great, now there are 2 of them. Hex Wretched Fate. After the first gen's done, Hex appears the repair speed of the obsession is slowed down by 33%, but the aura of it is, is revealed to them. Fuck that guy in particular. And like that, we end the Bone Lightning round. That's all the hex perks. We have Hoarder. Hoarder makes a loud noise notification when someone opens a chest or picks up their items. Hello, please give me more Franklin's Demise value. Hubris. Me and the boys are going to get stunned, but anyone with an M1 attack that they like to use can really take advantage of this build, especially Demogorgon, because everyone feeds the puppy pallets. Human Greed. For some fucking reason, you can kick chests back closed, and survivors that get within 8 meters of a closed chest, you get to see them. And for some fucking reason, you have a cooldown on how often you can kick a chest shut. What the fuck is this perk? Why? Hysteria. Another one that's getting a rework. When you injure a healthy survivor, Hysteria triggers. All survivors in the injured state become oblivious to you. And this also applies to the survivor who triggers it. So before, if you hit that survivor, they were technically healthy when the perk popped, so it didn't make them oblivious, but it made everyone else. Now everyone who's injured gets oblivious. And it has a cooldown of 20 seconds. This is great on everybody, especially like twins and plague who like to have people injured. Don't put this on Legion though, because it fucks up his power and you don't get Killer Instinct if they're Hysteria'd, because Legion's power is based specifically on his terror radius. I'm all ears when someone rushes something within 48 meters, which is a huge fucking range. You see them for 8 seconds, has a cooldown of 30 seconds. Everyone who loves auras and nurse, just give me this perk. This is a mainstay on these 3 killers. Being able to see a survivor's aura mid-battle, I'm all ears is the perk that everyone equates to battle aura reading, where mid-chase with somebody, you get to see their aura. And whenever I refer to battle aura reading, this is what I mean. Someone vaults a window and you're Pyramid Head. Instead of trying to vault the window after them, you just stick your sword down and snipe them. Huntress, you can tell which direction they're going to run around the wall, wind that hatch up, smack them. Nurse, just go through the wall and hit their ass. Great perk. Honestly, even on these killers other than these ones, just run this perk, it's good. After that, we have Infectious Fright. Really good on Leatherface, Myers, and Pig. Pig, it helps her stop boxes. You know, if you scream while you're trying to do a box, it resets your progress, resets your timer. Myers and Bubba just like to snowball, so if you down someone and you hear another scream, you're headed that direction immediately. Insidious. Iron Grasp. No! Iron Maiden. Increases your locker search speed, and people who exit from a locker scream and get exposed. Again, the reloaders, the people who have to get in the locker to get their ammo. Hey, this gets you there 50% faster. And also gives you information if people are trying to run head-on. Knockout. Oh my god, they're reworking Knockout. This is amazing. So, you mean to tell me when they vault the pallet, you get slowed down for 5 seconds with a 5%. This is great on killers like Singularity or like Artist, who play that 50-50 at a pallet. Obviously Hux doesn't do it if he's in his mode, he'll just run right through it. But you set down like a bird one side of the pallet and you run around it, they try to vault it, now they're slowed, you can wrap back around and get them before they make it anywhere. Seems like a pretty good change, way better than Slug City that it used to be. After that, we have Languid Touch. Anyone with a small terror radius works with this well. So people get exhausted when they scare a crow for 10 seconds for some reason, but especially good on like Hag, Chucky, Ghostface. Small terror radius, hard to see, helps you get rid of exhaustion perks. Which honestly isn't that big of a deal anymore. Maybe live, I don't know. After that, we have Lethal Pursuer. See everyone for 9 seconds, and your aura readings last 2 seconds longer. Lethal Pursuer is phenomenal on any killer, period. There is not a single killer you can run Lethal Pursuer, and it's detrimental. But it's especially good on Pinhead, Billy, and Blight. This is the ultimate perk in Pinhead's arsenal to play chess at the very start of the game and figure out where the box spawned. You can triangulate between where Pinhead spawned and where the survivor spawned to make that third end of the triangle. That's where the box spawned. Now, if the survivors are all grouped up, you have a 50-50. If they're spread out, you know almost exactly where the box is. And the survivors are just boned from there on because you can just continue to ping-pong back and forth. Billy and Blight will just take advantage of that 9 seconds, and they'll be up your ass before the perk ends. Amazing perk. Leverage. When someone doesn't unhook, their healing speed is cut by 50%. This is like anti-will make it. Really bad perk, but it's pretty decent on like the hit and run killers like Wraith and Onryo, and to a lesser extent Wesker, because Wesker just has this weird playstyle of perks that make you not want to heal around him. So, but just really good on the hit and run killers. Helps you, keep people injured, sneak back up, kill them again. Lightborn. Oh no! Machine learning. Kicking a gen makes that gen compromised. Damaging another generator makes that one instead. And you see it. Once it's completed, you get undetectable and 10% haste for 45 seconds. This is nutty. It's not a good perk, but the 10% haste is fucking insanity. I don't know if you've ever tried to chase somebody who's using Hope. But that gives them a 7% speed boost. This is 10% on the killer. Especially good on like Nemesis, Pyramid Head, Slinger, kick the gen, and then later you get a real big boost of speed. Nemesis likes to kick things in general. Just anyone can really run this, and it's pretty decent, but I digress. Mad Grit. No, it's fine. I'll do it myself. I'll just make your choice. When an unhook happens while you're further than 32 meters away, the person who unhooked screams and gets exposed for a minute, and it has a cooldown of a minute. So, any killer who can get back to the hook fast enough can either make their choice, see, that's the title, tunnel the injured survivor, or get an insta-down on the healthy survivor who just unhooked. Fucking insane. Thank God it's got a cooldown of 60 seconds, otherwise some of these killers would go batshit crazy. It's especially good on like Dredge, Demo, and Onryo. Anyone who can sort of teleport, just good. Merciless Storm does a bunch of fast, spooky skill checks whenever you get to 90% of your generator. Did someone say skill checks? Moving on. Mindbreaker. Here's one that I actually think is a good exhaustion perk. While you're on a generator, you're blind and exhausted, and it lasts for 5 seconds. You're working on a gen, someone gets hooked, you miss the black bubble pop-up where they got hooked, you have no idea where they are. You gotta let go of that gen, stand around for a couple seconds, and figure out where the hell they are before they can unhook. This'll just turn off Sprint Burst. If they don't like walk to try to get it back. Sprint Burst gamers hate this perk. Live gamers hate this perk. No one runs Dead Hard anymore, they don't exist. It's especially good on like M1 killers that need the help. Stuff like Knight, Trapper, Ghostface. After that, we have Monitor and Abuse. Shrinks your terror radius by 8 meters when you're not in a chase. Makes your terror radius bigger. Wait, what the hell? Huh. Did I not clip the... Oh, okay, no, they just worded it different now. So, when you're not in a chase... They word this perk so weird. When you're chasing someone, your terror radius is 8 meters bigger than normal. When you're not chasing someone, it's 8 meters smaller than normal. This is phenomenal on anyone with a small terror radius already, like Hag or Slinger. Especially Slinger, because if you're not in a chase, you can snipe someone from outside your terror radius if you play it right with one of his add-ons. Pig's terror radius also, fun fact, shrinks instead of like Wraith and Unreal, who's just disappear. When Pig crouches, hers slowly disappears. So Pig having a smaller terror radius is just better. Good stuff. Now we have Nemesis. This one's also getting changed, and this is really neat to me. So when someone other than the Obsession stuns you, by any means, they become the Obsession. Whenever your Obsession switches by any means, Nemesis now triggers. Before it was, it would move the Obsession whenever that happened, and if it was your Obsession, these things would happen. But essentially now, they get Oblivious for a minute, and you see their aura for 8 seconds. Again, aura reading, killers, they run enduring, they get smacked, and suddenly you're dead before you can run away from the pallet. Also, just run it on Nemesis, because it's funny to run Nemesis on Nemesis. Also, just getting hit by a pallet, Pinnacle Whipping, and then now you can chase them down with aura reading. After that, we've got No Quarter. Whenever a survivor is healing themselves, get 75% Merciless Storm skill checks. We have No Way Out. This perk is just good on everybody. As long as you hook each survivor once, you get, what is it, 72 seconds or 60? It's 60 seconds total. Because you get 12 seconds base kit plus 12 for each survivor hooked. So you get a whole minute of people not being able to open the exit gates. And that's after someone tries to touch it, not 1 minute after the last gen is done, 1 minute after they try to come touch it. If you find the hatch against the last survivor, it's almost guaranteed that they're dead if you're running this perk. It's really hard to fuck up a last kill if you find hatch first with this. But this also buys you an extra minute in the end game. Just good. Good on everybody. Run this perk. I don't know why it's not run more. Nowhere to hide. When you kick a gen, you see the aura of survivors from 24 meters of you for 5 seconds. This is really good on kicking survivors. Stuff like Billy, Blight, and Freddy, who have the pressure to boom across the map and run shit like Pop and Brutal and stuff like that to kick things. This just gives them extra info. Oppression. I like to run this on like Dracula, Oni, and Skull Merchant. When you kick a generator, it also does a little small skill check and kicks 3 other generators. So, not only does this give like a hard skill check, Doctor, go away. Not only does it give a hard skill check, but you essentially, in the time you spent to kick 1 generator, you kicked 4. And it has a cooldown of 40 seconds. So Dracula doesn't like kicking generators, but you can kick 1 and essentially you've kicked 4. You just sort of multitask, you can go back to what you were doing. It's pretty good. Overcharge. Whenever you kick a generator, the next time someone touches it, they get a really hard skill check. It's Doctor. It's always Doctor. Overwhelming Presence. Survivors in your terror radius suffer from inefficiency. When they use an item, their depletion rate of charges is increased by 100%. This perk is just bad. Like, I guess Wesker can take advantage of this by making people run out of medkit charges faster, but like, Overwhelming Presence has always just been a really bad perk. I don't know why it hasn't been changed yet. Play with your food. Bubbas are crying everywhere because they fucked up play with your food. So whenever you chase the Obsession for a little bit and then leave them, you get a stacking speed boost. and you can hold up to 3 tokens on it, but anytime you perform an attack, regardless if it connects, regardless if it's a special or a basic, regardless of any of it, you attempt an attack, you lose a token. So for the fucking 10-15 seconds you just used... Oh yeah, well, it's a 10-second cooldown before you can get another one. The 30 seconds you used to get those tokens, you lose 1 just by attempting an attack. Obviously, the insta-killers, like Bubba, can kind of use this, but this really goes hard on Tombstone Myers, who doesn't attack and instead just kills everybody. That's like its one niche use case. Next we have Pop Goes the Weasel. You hook somebody, you get 45 seconds to go kick a gen, and it loses 20% of its current progression. This is just good on the kicking boys again. Like Dredge, Hillbilly, Freddy, anyone who can get advantage just by kicking things. Predator. Oh my god, wait. This is an old perk. Oh my god, they changed Predator. They actually made it pretty good. So, if you lose a survivor, you see their aura for 4 seconds, and it got a 40-second cooldown. Yeah, you bet your ass we're gonna put that on the Battle Aura Killers. It's just pretty fucking good. Rancor. When a gen gets completed, you see the aura of the Obsession, and all survivors' locations are revealed to you. You see all the survivors for 3 seconds. It shows your aura to the Obsession for 5. And then when the gens are all done, you can just walk up, one hit down the Obsession, and just mori them on the spot. This is great for just, like, completely ignoring this one survivor the whole game, and then suddenly in the endgame they're dead. This is really great for, like, Knight, Dredge, Pinhead, people who can just choose and pick who to go after, and just ignore them all game. You have to worry about 3 survivors, and then that last one's just dead. After that, we have Rapid Brutality. You can't get Bloodlust, but when you hit somebody, you get 5% haste for 10 seconds. This perk is not great, but anyone who can get a really easy first hit, but struggle to get the second... I got that backwards. Really easy time getting their first hit. Need a little help getting the second hit, right? Wraith, Deathslinger, Spirit, they can sneak up, get your first hit. They don't ever need to get Bloodlust for their first hit. Now you have 5% haste to get your second hit. It's pretty good. It's not good, but for them it's pretty good. We have Remember Me. Whenever the Obsession loses a health state by any means, get a token up to 5. Exit gates take a long time to open for anyone who's not the Obsession based on the number of tokens. Except for the Obsession, who is exempt. Oh, hey, look at Rancor, which can kill the Obsession, and No Way Out to block the doors. No one's leaving the fucking match. This is really good on, like, Trapper and Clown, who are gonna be getting to the end game and who need all the help they can get in the slowdown. Just kick all the pallets in the map, and then suddenly the survivors have to spend, like, 2.5 minutes fucking around with nothing to do. It's good on these guys. They need all the help they can get. Save the best for last. They massacred my boy. So you hit someone who's not the Obsession, you get a token. Your wiping off your blade gets faster the more tokens you have. But if you hit the Obsession with a basic or special attack, you lose 2 tokens. This used to be remediable because you could just lose it on basic attacks. So people like Billy or like the Demogorgon could just use their special attacks on the Obsession and regular attacks on everyone else. You can kind of get away with this still on Trapper because you can just have the Obsession run into his bear trap and you won't lose any of their tokens. But other than that, this perk is kind of fucking massacred now. Like I said earlier, you can kind of run it with friends till the end to just sort of avoid ever interacting with an Obsession. But I digress. Scourge Hook Lightning Round. Hook on the white hooks, you get rewards. Every perk works like this, with additional effects. 4 random hooks are Scourge hooks. You see them as white hooks while you're carrying people. Hook people, unhook people, whatever, on the white hook, you get things. Floods of Rage. Each time a survivor is unhooked from a Scourge hook, you get to see everyone else's aura for 7 seconds. Aura, people rejoice. Fast killers rejoice. Everyone gets information. Floods of Rage is one of the last bastions of good information on the killer side. Great perk. We have Scourge Hook. What the hell is this one? Gift of Pain from Pinhead. This is really good on the Legion, the Xenomorph, and Dracula because it's Sloppy Butcher, but on hook instead of on M1. This is great for anyone you want to use their secondary attacks to hurt people, but you don't want them to heal back to full because it's not an insta-down. We have Hangman's Trick, and why the fuck is this a Scourge Hook now? What? You get a loud noise notification when someone starts saboing a hook, and you see the auras are survivors within 12 meters of a Scourge Hook. Wow, they made this perk somehow worse. I guess Nurse can work with this. Nurse takes all the aura reading she can get. But wow, they really not only killed this, it was already a bad perk, but then they somehow made it worse, and also a Scourge Hook for some fucking reason. We have Scourge Hook, Jagged Compass. When someone gets unhooked from a non-Scourge Hook, that hook becomes a Scourge Hook. So now they're multiplying. And when you hook someone on a Scourge Hook, you get to see the generator with the most progress. Great for killers who can hurry up and get to that generator as swiftly as possible. Just good gen information. We have Monstrous Shrine. Oh, hey, look at that. They actually made a really good change. And now it just makes it so people die faster on your Scourge Hooks. What? The basement hooks are also Scourge Hooks. Oh. Motherfuck! After that, we have Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. This is slow down without having to do anything. The first time you hook somebody on a Scourge Hook per survivor, it shoots a regression of 20% to the most worked on generator. Survivors on it scream, but you don't get to see that scream. It just sort of makes them let go. This perk has been woefully nerfed into the ground since what it used to be. But it's still pretty good, and it's just in general good on killers who need slowdown but don't want to stop to kick generators. Chucky, Houndmaster, Trickster, stuff like that. That's the end of the Scourge Hook lightning round. Cool, yeah. We have Septic Touch. Whenever a survivor performs a healing action in your terror radius, they get blind and exhausted. This is fucking terrible, but hey, Wesker will take all of the anti-heal he'll get. We have Shadowborn. I know they had to change this shit, but it's just so bad now. So if you get blinded, you get 10% haste. Like, the whole point of Shadowborn before was the drawback that you don't get blinded. Now you're rewarded for getting blinded. This is just stupid. Why? I know the fucking FOV slider made this perk have to change, but they could have done anything other than this. Shattered Hope. Instead of snuffing your boon totems, you bust them. You can put this on anyone who's running Pentimento. It's just a support perk for Pentimento, so that you can permanently stop survivors from using boons, but like, it's pretty useless if they're not running boons, so just, don't run this. Sloppy Butcher, it's the M1 version of Gift of Pain. Great on anyone who likes to do M1 killing. They get slowed down healing, and they lose healing if they're not continually healing. Hit and run killers rejoice at slowdown, keep people injured. Spies from the Shadows. When you're within 36 meters of a crow, if it gets startled by a survivor, you see that. This is really good on like stealth killers like Ghosty and Myers, but also sneak perk, cool pick, Nemesis. If you have a zombie nearby and it's being a fucking dunce, this makes a loud noise notification. Your zombies will come give you a hand. It's pretty fucking cool. Spirit Fury. Them one killers rejoice at me and the boys getting ready to slap down pallets and beat the shit out of people. Trapper and Dredge are just other good examples of M1 killers that do good with this. But you break 2 pallets, someone hits you in the head with that pallet gets busted without you having to do anything. Starstruck. When you pick someone up, anyone in your terror radius gets exposed, and it hangs on for 30 seconds after they leave. And then it has a 60-second cooldown. This is great for anyone with big terror radius. Strider. Increases the volume of injured noises and breathing from the survivors. This is really good and is commonly known for being used on the Spirit, but also Dracula, most recently, his bat mode works like Spirit's power in the sense that you can hear survivors and see, like, scratch marks. I believe you can see their scratch marks, but you cannot directly see the survivors. It's just a cool tech perk, but otherwise it's not very good. Superior Anatomy. When someone vaults near you, you get fast vault. Chainsaw Boys and Myers rejoice at faster vault speed. Surge. Thank God people aren't trying to call it Jolt anymore. Rewards M1 killers by popping generators in 32 meters of you at 8%. Really good on the M1 killers. Trapper, Wraith, Dredge. Anyone who's got to do some good old-fashioned downing of people, good perk. Rewards these people. Surveillance. Auras of regressing generators are shown in white, and if someone touches it, it becomes yellow. And also you can hear people working on gens a little bit louder. Really, really good to combine with Ruin, and works really good with people who can use gen information really well. Xeno can run through the tunnels at the white to yellow. Freddy, Billy, yeah. Movement speed, go burn. Thwack. You whack a pallet, a wall, a whatever. You use one of your tokens. You start with 3. Survivors in your within 24 meters scream and show you their aura. And when you hook someone, you get another thwack token. This is a really good tracking perk on like Knight, who kicks everything, Bubba, who chainsaws everything, and Pig has screams on demand to interrupt people from searching their boxes and die faster to your bear traps. After that, we have Terminus. This is just know it at home. So when the exit gates are done, if you're injured, dying, or hooked, you become broken. But only until the exit gate actually gets opened, and then 30 seconds after that, and... Why? This is just fucking awful. No. I guess it can be fine on Legion. That's not a great consolation prize. Territorial Imperative. When you're further from 24 meters from the basement and a survivor goes in, you see their aura for 6 seconds, and then it goes on a cooldown of 45 seconds. This is a really shitty perk, but Dredge and Demo can actually take advantage of this. If you can hook someone in the basement, you see someone enter it, you teleport back, and then you can be an asshole. Pressure people in the basement, bad time. Thanatophobia. Survivors get slowed down for the amount of people who are injured, and if everyone is injured, it's a further 12% slowdown on fucking basically everything but healing. Really good on Legion, on Plague, who keep people injured, and on Oni, who really punishes the injured players, but then insta-downs the healthy ones. After that, we have Thrilling Tremors, and this is just an old perk. It's an old info perk that's been pretty dated in its design. So you pick up a survivor, all gens that aren't getting worked on get blocked for 16 seconds. This just shows you which ones are currently being worked on. That's all it does. It's good info for like the Gen Kicky boys with Pop and Nurse, I guess, for just locational awareness, but this is woefully outdated. Tinkerer. Whenever a generator gets to 70% for the first time, you get a loud noise notification over there and undetectable for 16 seconds. This is really good on people with big terror radius, people who are scary when they're undetectable, and people who can get back to generators really quickly to capitalize on getting people off of it, such as Wesker, Oni, and Lich respectively. It's a decent perk, but it's not what it used to be. Next we have Trail of Torment. You bonk a generator and you get undetectable. The survivors see that generator yellow from everywhere, and you get undetectable until it stops regressing, whether that's because the gen ran out of progress or because a survivor came back and touched it. This is incredible to pair with Dragon's Grip. It's also just really good on like Hag and Pyramid Head himself to do that, because everyone's going to expect Pyramid Head to have this perk, but they're not going to expect him to have Dragon's Grip and be waiting right around the corner to beat their ass. And it is horrifying to be playing against a tier 3 Myers with a really big terror radius, have him kick a gen, and suddenly you don't hear tier 3 Myers sneaking up behind you. It's scary. Ultimate Weapon. Opening a locker causes survivors within 32 meters of you to scream, show you their location, and become blind. This has a cooldown of 60 seconds. It's really good on the reloading guys, but it's really cool to pair with Darkness Revealed, because Darkness Revealed has a cooldown of 30 seconds. This has 60 seconds. You can open another locker while this is still on cooldown and desync their cooldowns, so you essentially have 2 reload search add-ons. Obviously, if you're pretty accurate and you're not reloading a whole lot, you don't need to do this, but it's just a cool little interaction to have constant knowledge of where people are. We have to talk about the fucking Unknown perks, and I hate the Unknown, and I hate everything about him, and his perks all suck. Gross. Unbound. When a survivor becomes injured, you get haste after vaulting a window. Myers rejoice. Undone. So, this is the most convoluted one of the bunch. When someone fails a skill check, get 3 tokens, up to 30. So you have to get 10 failed skill checks just to hit your cap. When you kick a generator, after people have failed skill checks, you eat all of those tokens to regress the generator by that many %, block the gen for that many seconds, and then it gets regressing once it's unblocked, and it has a cooldown of 60 seconds as a whole. Dear God, that is convoluted and stupid, and the Doctor's the only one getting any value out of this, because this is the only way that anyone's going to miss any skill checks in high-level play, is because they're playing against the Doctor. After that, we have Unforeseen. Unforeskin. Yeah. Kicking a gen applies Unforeseen for 30 seconds. Your terror radius gets stuck on the generator, and you're undetectable. This is just a fusion of Trail of Torment and, shit, what is that one called? Dark Devotion. Just run those instead for whichever one of these you want. It's not worth it. Myers and Oni can get some use out of this, I guess. After that, we have Unnerving Presence. Thank God we're done with the fucking Unknown. In your terror radius, survivors repairing and healing have faster and smaller, or more often and smaller skill checks. Unrelenting reduces the cooldown of a missed basic attack by 30%. This is a really shitty perk, but it has a really niche use on Hag. If you've never played Hag, you teleport and you swing immediately. The game will auto-lock your camera at the person who triggered your trap. So whenever you come out of a Hag trap, it is customary to almost always come out and swing. And for whatever reason you whiff, like sprint burst or whatever, this just recovers your cooldown if you miss. It's niche, it's fine, but otherwise it's just a really shitty perk for baby beginners. Just don't miss your shots. We have Weave Attunement. When an item gets depleted, it's dropped. Auras of survivors, dropped items are seen, and any survivor within 12 meters of a dropped item gets shown to you. Survivors also see the aura of the item that's been dropped. And then if someone picks up an item, they get oblivious for 30 seconds. This is just, please give me more Franklin's opportunities. Thank you. Whispers. Whispers makes me feel fucking old, because this perk used to be phenomenal, and nothing about it has changed. But we have so much information perks now that Whispers just feels woefully useless by comparison. Whenever a survivor is within 32 meters of you, the entity will make little weird ASMR noises in your ear. And that's how you know that someone is semi-nearby you. And you used to be able to triangulate where the hell somebody was with this perk, but now we have aura reading and screams and all this, and now it's just useless. Makes me feel old and sad. Lastly, we have Zhangqing Tactics. Auras of pallets and windows are shown to you. And whenever someone drops a pallet, their aura is revealed to you for 5 seconds. This is really good to combo with Thwack and Bamboozle. It's just pretty good to give support to perks like that, but also a little bit of aura reading that they added later at some point that I don't remember. Pretty decent. Wait. Thwack? Bamboozle. What are those perks that feel familiar? God damn it! Well, seems I'm never gonna leave the basement. This video took over an hour. I am tired. The script took forever. If you guys enjoyed or found any of this useful, please leave a like, a subscribe. I don't ask this often, but this took a lot of time to do. Thank you, everybody. Now, someone please fucking come unhook me. I swear to God. I have decisive. It's fine. We'll get out. I promise. Please.